Well, welcome to the Christian Leaders News. We're excited to be live and here in December, where we are going to be having some fun with Advent. Maybe some of you have seen that. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's a blessing to be live and together.
It sure is. So we will start off with our college graduates of this week. We have two wonderful grads. Frakia with their Associate of Christian Leadership and Amber Oisa with the Bachelor of Christian Leadership. So congratulations to you two guys. Make sure to wish them a congratulations on the network, on their testimony, and an exciting accomplishment.
It's an exciting before Christmas accomplishment.
Right, to celebrate
that, and that's awesome. So congratulations. As I was saying, we've entered Advent, so you might have seen on the dashboard we had our first Advent, which was kind of a plug for one of our newer mini courses, the Mark of the Lion. And as I was kind of preparing this, I looked at multiple feedbacks from students, and this class has really blessed you guys in just digging into your identity in Christ. And I think a lot of us see in the world we live today, identity is a hot topic, and there's a lot of questions surrounding it. And so finding our identity and being marked by the lion. So I'll say again, I encourage you guys to check out that mini course, but also keep checking out that dashboard. If you can, log in every day and check out what's new. Today you're getting the news, so that's kind of an exciting updates and a combination of different things here. But stay tuned. We'll be having that kind of gift open with some sort of either encouragement or announcement or exciting kind of things.
Special product. You never know what it could be.
Exactly.
So keeping in the topic of Christmas, we will be having our live Christmas event on Tuesday, December 20th at 12 p.m. So make sure to mark your calendars for that. I believe there's an event created on the network, so you can RSVP there. And we're excited to see you there. We'll have, some staff members, a nice Christmas message, and some other festivities. So
so we're excited. So keep that on your calendars. Next, let's talk about we started kind of showing the budget for a month, and those numbers are that's the whole month of November, and 43% of the budget was funded by Vision Partners. And so thank you guys. That's $55,000 that came in from college, merchandise, buying of credentials, and of course again the monthly and one-time Vision Partner support. And in addition,
so on Giving Tuesday, we sent out some emails and kind of went into our restorative education initiative. This is something we've been working on as a team for a while. It's probably been on your guys' radar, but we just opened up, a donation form for that as we're getting very close to our launch in the new year. And we were just so grateful for your guys' outpouring of support. We raised almost $2,000 in this Giving Tuesday effort with 32 different donations. So that form is still available. It's on christianleaders.org. You can access it through that email that you sent. You're still able to donate, and it will go right to this form. We have the progress bar there, so it's nice to see that peeking out. But our overall goal is $250,000. We've been putting a lot of time, a lot of efforts, a lot of our operations budget has gone towards funding this now. So we're really excited to be kind of in this next stage where we're looking forward to testing and really getting a robust launch going. So we are so grateful for your support in this. And it was a blessing to see all the responses from those emails of just your support and your prayers that are so meaningful, so valuable as we move forward.
Absolutely. I just think again about the people that this is going to touch. We each know what's going on in our own life, but just to think about how many people this opportunity to come across, and that was kind of a big part of what we said, is we're getting the opportunity to reach anybody who is going to be eligible for the technology. There's no barriers. There's nothing to stop them. They don't have to get government aid. They don't have to, all they have to do is put some time into that and just log in. And that's an exciting, again, opportunity that 98% of people in Michigan prisons don't have.
Exactly. And on that page with the form, there's also a video with the directors of the program, Nick and Patrick, who have some very personal experiences with receiving education while in prison. So I encourage you to check that out too, as it's just a really interesting perspective on their take of how life-changing and transformative that opportunity was, and how much of kind of a game changer this type of platform will be, where students don't have to apply. There's not a rigorous acceptance and admissions process. And like you said, really serving not only that 98%, but the 100% of people who will have access to the technology. So
absolutely. And we also have one of the other kind of exciting things that have been on our radar screen for the past couple of months is really it's been a coaching opportunity. And Abby and I have actually gone through a program with which we'll talk more about, but we want to announce the partnership that we have between Culture Impact and Christian Leaders.
That's right. So a little bit about who Culture Impact is. So they were initially called the Empowerment Coaching Network, and they were co-founded by Tim Cosby, who's actually been our kind of teacher and trainer,
yes.
and also Mike in 2010, out of the desire to equip leaders with coaching conversation skills that would empower others to set goals and take responsibility for the choices they make and the actions they take. So this organization does a lot of training. They train coaches, they train business leaders, they train people in education systems, lots of different facets there. But yeah, like Abby said, we've really enjoyed, not only learning about what Culture Impact offers, but also taking part in the program itself. So some details about what this means for you as Christian Leaders students. So really the purpose of the partnership is to provide a pathway for students who desire further coaching, training, and experience. So if you have completed or eventually plan to complete life coaching ministry, that course Min 250, you'll be eligible for this partnership. And what it includes really is a generous discount for any of their programs. There's a lot of different levels, which we'll go into in the next slide. But yeah, all the training is conducted over Zoom. So it's accessible to wherever you are. It's very easy to just log on and do that. And yeah, the trainings, include some teaching sessions, and the more advanced ones have coaching practicums where you can actually practice your skills, and also mentoring sessions.
Yeah, and just to kind of speak into that, we love the life coaching program we have here at Christian Leaders. And again, if you've taken that life coaching ministry course, I've heard so many students be blessed by that. What's amazing about the opportunity that Impact Culture offers is even some of that, not only does it dive a lot deeper if you do the training for it and even refresh anything that you've learned with us, but if you do get into those practicums and the mentoring, it's like, that is so enriching. That's something that on our platform as a, correspondent school, that's not something that has really been available. And so as someone who's participated in those practicums of just really being coached and coaching and doing that back and forth continually, you just learn so much, and you really do start to see how beneficial that tool of coaching is in just bringing growth and discovery and conversations and insight for people that really can be life-changing.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also been really helpful, if you're thinking to kind of go into this as a full-time or even part-time, there's a lot of training on, what your coaching niche might be, what a coaching practice is, how that would look like, as a full business, how to, charge for it, how to market, things like that, that are really practical, that can kind of help you follow up with those next steps. So here on the screen is a list of the 3 main programs that are offered, and each of these will be starting in February. So we're announcing this now, so it gives you some time to pray about it, look into it more, and if you do feel called to sign up, those will begin, like I said, in February. So the first kind of certification level is a coaching-based ministry. This is strictly training. There's really nothing else with that one, and it's 17 and a half hours of involvement. The next one is a level 2 certification, which is the Empowerment Impact Coaching Program. And then the final one, which is what Abby and I have been pursuing, is the Certified Professional Empowerment Coach. And that one comes with 60 hours of training, the practicums included, some mentoring, and then the requirement of 40 hours of coaching with clients. So
yeah, and what also can come with that is, and this is something you can kind of see more as you explore the partnership, but you can, in our case, kind of take this further and even get connected with state certification and other stuff like that. And so again, if you feel called to do life coaching or any form of coaching, very much so, where you would maybe even want to open a practice, or again, a part-time, something that you were looking to do revenue, it's going to serve you very well if you are financially able to pursue this. It would serve you very well to be able to have that kind of credibility with people, because life coaching, it creates a very vulnerable space, and it is a relationship of confidentiality, which as ministers, we know and we kind of learn about, but people are really putting their trust if they open up that opportunity. And so being able to have that, certification and credibility could, again, really serve you if you feel like God's calling you to kind of pursue that full time.
I agree completely. And then if you want to learn more information about this partnership, head over to this URL, christianleadersinstitute.org, culture-impact-partnership. There are some buttons there where you can get in contact with Culture Impact if you have questions. There will be links to their website to learn more. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. There's also a video of us interviewing Tim, who's one of the founders and our mentor and teacher. So you can learn kind of more there and hear really his vision.
Information there.
Yeah. So I think it would be helpful, Abby, to talk a little bit more about our experience with the program. So, I'm interested kind of what your take is on, why coaching, what's the power of coaching, what your experience has kind of been with the program. Let's hear it.
Okay. So, why coaching? I think that I already loved coaching kind of going into it. And some of you who have taken the course know that I had been a guinea pig for Steve in the class on a situation I was facing. And so just even once experiencing the power of the coaching approach and method and having it work in a situation in my own personal life, that was actually very, very emotional for me. And so that working, I really hadn't done anything with coaching since that experience, but I had a respect for it. And so when the opportunity kind of came to my door, I kind of thought, okay, I know there is power in this because I myself have seen it help in making some decisions in my life. And so I think that there is a lot of just quality information and tools that come with coaching that really could serve somebody to kind of start to answer into the second question on my perspective, could serve somebody in ministry, because mentorship is so important. And we touch on this in the video. So if you go over to that page and watch it, you'll kind of hear this even on a deeper level and from Tim's perspective. But when he said this just so resonated with me of why I love that this opportunity is available for you. As a leader, it is good that we have a wide range of abilities and connection with different people, because each person has a different situation, a different personality, a different culture even, or context going on, work life, all sorts of different things. And so for one person, a coaching conversation or even being an official client and having them be like your client, that can be an approach that really, really helps them take action steps and really grow and move forward. And so I think that as a leader, it's really, really important to know that even if you don't feel called to do life coaching full time, having that skill set will serve you and help you be a better, well-rounded leader, just like knowing how to mentor or even knowing how to do pastoral care. All of that is going to serve you so well in ministry. And what I lastly just want to say about coaching before you kind of answer this question is, I think that coaching really does empower people. Mentoring, again, is so important, and we stress that a lot in our program. But if I tell you what to do and it doesn't align in your heart, and maybe I don't even know your situation right, and I'm recommending something to you and I don't really even know exactly what's going on, what coaching does is it really does allow the person to have this safe space to explore some options, look at different things, and come up with actionable steps and create a critical path forward for them to achieve. Maybe it's either a huge goal or maybe it's just dealing with a certain thing that's been going on in their life. But either way, again, I have seen the power of coaching work and to bring that solution. And so rather than me telling you what I think is best, you are really digging into all assets and you know the most information about your situation. And so it just really empowers you to as a Christian, dig into, God's perspective too, and coupling that with what you kind of explore and talk through with that coach. Yeah, I can't say enough about the impact I've seen that have.
Yeah,
So
for
go
sure.
ahead.
I echo everything you said. And I think it is important to point out this program is Christian and it has biblical foundations.
Yes.
And in our last session, we kind of went over like what the biblical principles of coaching are.
Yeah,
And the training is delivered, with the idea that our identity first is that we are God's. We are his. That's who we are. And so the
Absolutely.
approaches we're learning kind of all hinge off that.
Yes.
And it's really powerful when you think about that, because one of the principles you kind of learn is that when you take on a client or when you're coaching someone, you believe that they have the power, that they have the answers to get themselves where they want to go. So just believing that that person
They
is
have a
empowered,
purpose, yeah.
not only does it free you up to just help them, you don't have to feel any responsibility, any, weight of that issue. It's just believing that they truly know how to move forward. Not only is it a biblical principle, but we've just seen the power of that, the power of having someone truly listen to you and just believe that you can do it. I mean, what an awesome
It's
feeling.
believing in you.
Yeah. And then one of the other big takeaways from that session was kind of viewing obstacles as opportunities from God. And I think that really speaks into why coaching is needed. We can feel so stuck in certain ways, whether it's our personal lives, with our families, with a relationship, whether it's with work, whether it's with ministry, our faith. There's so many ways we can just kind of get in a rut and get stuck. And so having a coach who invites you to see that as an opportunity from God to grow, to deepen your relationship with him. I mean, it's just amazing. And, to learn the strategies, the open-ended questions, the probing, expanding, all these different ways to kind of use this as a tool, whether it is in an official, kind of coachy client relationship, or just as a way to, better be a better person in your conversations, in your relationships. I mean, like you can probably tell, we're very passionate about it and truly have been touched by the program. So feel free to reach out to either of us too if you're interested to hear more. But yeah, it's just been an amazing process, and I highly encourage you to watch that video with Tim too, because some of those leadership things that he touches on, it's really great content and really rich, and we'll definitely invite you to learn more about the programs and the opportunities that this partnership will bring.
Yeah, just one final note that I thought of when you brought up the distinctive Christian coaching is like one of the things I had to look at with my partner in that last session was the idea of, because of who we are, is that we're God's. We want to respect people. We want to show them love. We want to give them, authentic openness. And what's again amazing, and you said this, these principles that we learned, they are grounded in biblical truth. And when we do follow that open-ended approach and, follow kind of, again, some of those principles that guide life coaching, it is so aligning with biblically, loving someone, being open to them, respecting them in the choices that they might feel God is leading them to. And so again, it was just really cool to dive into how biblical that coaching concept really can be, especially in the way that Impact Culture has set up their program. And that is why, again, we love being able to do this partnership.
For sure. And it's a great connection. I mean, just with our brand and our idea that, we're difference makers, that a minister is someone who's seeking to make change. And coaching is such a great tool for that. And it really fits in with who we are and who you are as Christian leaders.
Absolutely. All right, Abby, take it away.
All right, we're at the joke of the day. You guys ready? We've got to see some comments going. All right, so as we're entering December, it had to be, holiday themed. So what do fish sing during the holiday season?
I feel like it's like, I don't know. Something like, I don't know.
Kind of. It's a play on word, I'll say. Any guesses? I see some people typing. Let's see.
I'm trying to still think on my end if there's anything else I can come up with, like swim. No, I don't know. Swim route.
Oh. All right. I'm going to reveal it. Christmas corals.
Oh, okay. I like that a lot.
Go.
That's a good one, Abby. Very nice. Nicely done. And as a closing encouragement, as we are in the Advent season, we wanted to talk a little bit about the candle of hope. And many of you on Sunday will probably talk about this at your church. And so first, just to kind of define it from that website that's linked below, the first candle, which is purple, symbolizes hope. And it's sometimes called the prophecy candle in remembrance of the prophets, especially Isaiah, who foretold the birth of Christ. And it represents that expectation felt in anticipation of the coming Messiah. And there was a lot of hope in that. You see that all throughout the Old Testament, that hope that, there is going to, all the way in the beginning of Genesis, the snake's head is going to be crushed. And that hope continues all the way through. And that hope is anticipated, and it is, again, in Christ fulfilled. And so I love that when I think about hope, almost in that anticipation, and also like that expectation of that God is in control and will hold his word and promises. And so I really liked that as I was thinking about the candle of hope.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then some verses that kind of contextualize this a bit more from 1 Timothy. That is why we labor and strive, because we have put our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, and especially of those who believe. And then the second one there from Lamentations, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness.
I love both of those. Again, our hope is alone in Jesus Christ, and we have that hopeful anticipation now of his return, and also our eternity spent with Christ as his children. And so there is so much hope that we get to constantly carry along in our lives. Not only do we have the hope of the resurrection, but the hope of his future coming.
Yeah, that's right. And I was actually just having a conversation with a friend about how the holiday season, I think sometimes, I don't know if you feel the same, there's kind of a lot of like anticipation and excitement around it. But oftentimes, like when it's over, I think a lot of people feel kind of an emptiness of maybe it didn't live up to what they had hoped, or I don't know, it can just be an emotional season, and maybe a time where some people feel maybe like let down or lonely or whatever it may be, some of those negative things. And I think, as Christians, it's amazing to remember the hope we have in the holiday season, and that regardless of the parties or the gifts or the food, whatever, the maybe traditions are, the purpose really succeeds that. And it's much greater in that, just remembering that we have this hope, and that Christmas is a time
when it's done, that hope continues.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, we don't need to feel that emptiness after celebrating this, because this is a constant hope that gets to dwell in our heart and in our soul. So thank you for tuning in today. It was wonderful to discuss some of the new partnership, as well as even again, thank you for everyone that participated in Giving Tuesday. Again, what a gift and blessing to the least of these, as kind of was our theme about it. So again, thank you guys. God bless you. And we will see you next week on the news, and keep checking those advents.
That's right.